Hello everyone, it's John and today's video is about my Dungeons and Dragons collection, which is, well, quite large. Well, it does start in the 70s. When it starts? Good question. Let me think. I can't pinpoint when it starts, except that I can remember that my family had a holiday home down on the Gold Coast. I live in Queensland, Australia, and we had a beach home down at a place called Burleigh Heads, a beautiful place. I don't know what it's like now. But back in the 60s and 70s, it was a very, very nice place. And sadly, what can I say? 60s and 70s, it was the thing that the bronzed Aussie was the catch cry, and my delightful mother would shove me out in the sun, where her adage was, once you got sunburnt, you were right. Well, consequently, I'm paying the price now with the worst problem with skin cancer that I'm sadly paying the price for. Actually, I've just been last week and just had a huge slice of flesh removed yet again. But unlike Billy Connolly, I constantly meandering from what I'm talking about. Where was I? Yes, 70s. Yes, we had one of our neighbours, his grandson came to visit, and he brought along with him a game called Empire of the Petal Throne. I had never heard of role-playing up till that stage, and that hooked me. Well, could not get Empire of the Petal Throne, but did get Dungeons and Dragons, and consequently that led to, as far as my mother was concerned, the end of my, shall we say, academic pursuits and career and everything else as far as she was concerned. She thought it was the worst thing that ever came into my life. Personally, I thought it was the best thing because it was the only avenue of, shall we say, artistic and pursuit that was available to me. Yes, it was for somebody who had a overactive imagination and it was just role-playing back then was the perfect pursuit for people who didn't fit within society's frameworks. You know, I wasn't the brilliant academic. You know, I wasn't the sports person that everybody in the family was expecting me to be, following in the, you know, the family's footsteps. You know, it was I was sadly the family's disappointment, but it was just one of those things. But role playing, and that was for me everything that I wanted. So I then embraced it. It was marvelous, and role playing. Sadly, you know, nobody within my, I guess, circle of people that I knew, with the exception of one, embraced it. And it wasn't until I had left school and moved into the greater community, and I had gone to university, did I start to meet more people and found that there were, hey, look, there are other people that role played, and I found people that board gamed, and that there was a greater community out there. And you know, as I entered the workforce, and then I found a game shop, and found the delightful shop assistant that worked there, and she ended up becoming my wife. So that was even more of a bonus, with being very lucky with the you know, gaming has been incredibly beneficial to me, in the fact that it gave me my wife. So yes, but anyway, look, I've obviously rambled on and given you a bit more information about me, but yeah, it was a lot of fun, role playing, and D&D played a large part of it. So here is my collection, and I will now give you a quick break, and then I'll come back with a sign off. Right, and here we go, looking at the D&D books. This time I'll try not to waffle too much, but that's the battle system, which is in pretty good nick. Never played it. There's another book inside, which is, I think, the book version of this, which might be 2nd edition. Good old Ravenloft. Then the Dark Sun, which is the 2nd ed. Then, yes, here's my AD&D, which is the main one, or the main playbook anyway. So so that's those. Then we go on to the Fiend Folio. Now, what I should say is, what people should never, ever, ever do is, which is what we did in the day, was we laminated our covers. Don't know if you can see it, but yep, we laminated our books. That was the thing we did in the 80s and 70s, because we thought, oh, that'll protect our books. Doesn't do them very good long term. So yeah, never laminate, never laminate. There's my deities and demigods, which again laminated, but it's still in fairly good condition, and it's the printing, very first printing, that has the Cthulhu and Melnibonéan books in it. And oh, hello, Pippi's come to join me. Then I've got all the books, and look, there's that Oriental Adventures that everybody's having a hissy fit over at the moment. I like it. Then Greyhawk. Then there's the 2nd ed, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. So, which, you know, it's okay. It's good, but to be honest, if I'm running D&D, or if I could run D&D the way I want to run it, I would run this edition. But of course, I'm running 5th ed at the moment, because that's what the younger people are wanting. Yes, there's a gap there I'll explain about eventually. There's the 2nd ed monster. Then here is all the 3.5 stuff that I've accumulated, and there's a lot of it. So, oh look, there's Oriental Adventures, which I'll just poke out again because I'm just taunting people. Fiend Folio, yeah, look, honestly, there's so many books here that I can go on and on and on about. But as you can see, the collection is quite big. Eberron, I really enjoyed. I thought that was a magnificent setting. I thought it was magnificent. I don't know how far along I was collecting there, but I think this might have been about the 3rd time Suicide attempt number 3 kicked in then, and that might have been when I stopped collecting. So I do sadly have some dark times, and they impact on my life. But yes, so that was those. So coming back up, we then come down here. Yeah, real good photography, hey. As I then continue along, and some more books, the Ravenloft. Then there's Rokugan. Look, there's another Oriental adventure. Oh dear, there's quite a bit of it, isn't there? More campaign settings. As I said, I've got a lot of third-party stuff that was done for the D20. And I've got, quite a lot of that. There is the Forgotten Realms. I sadly did not collect enough of that as much as I wanted. Then along came 4th Ed, which was a dismal failure. Well, some people like it. I've got it purely to keep continuity. So I won't say too much about it because I never ran it. So 4th Ed is there for what's little there is that I've got. World's Greatest Dungeon, or Largest Dungeon, yep, quite good. Then here is all my 5th Ed. So I'll come back a bit here, 5th Ed stuff, which is, got everything here. Oh, and of course everything decides it's now going to fall over. And just shows you how poor my work. So yeah, everything here. So there you go. Everything for 5th Ed. So I'm now going to pause. I'll stop and we'll go have a look at all the other old stuff. Right, our next look is at some really, really old, I guess most of it's third-party stuff. And what we have here is mainly stuff from companies, mainly from oh dear, let's see how I'm going to go here. From mainly Judges Guild. So as you can see, okay, there's a few other bits and pieces in here as well. So dungeon quest, but you've got mainly a lot of dungeons. So which is quite, these were fairly cheaply produced at the time. So the Gen Con, a lot of the Gen Con dungeons were produced and made available. So these were quite, some of the titles like Glory Hole Dwarven Mine. I'm not quite sure if that title would be quite appropriate, shall we say, today, but as you can see, Book of Treasure Maps, so Castle Book, so as you can see, there was quite a lot of old stuff. And then there was Judges Guild had their own journal, so they had stories, their quests, and all sorts of, so a bit like a magazine. Well, it is a magazine, isn't it, really? But yes, it wasn't too bad. So they had a whole heap of those. Then there was some others that were that was the D&D's competition, or add-ons if you like, which was Arduin Grimoire. So there were the 3 volumes to that, and then there were dungeons and all sorts of bits and pieces. Then continuing on, from my others. There were more treasure maps. Then I had the city-state of the Invincible Overlord, which I did have quite a bit, and they gave you additional maps and things like that. So that was quite good. And yeah, quite a few old Fane of the Drow. So this is all for 3.5. Some bits and pieces, some maps and stuff that I have acquired. Now I'm going to move my thing down here and hopefully not upset too much. So in the background there you can see the Pegasus magazine. That was again Judges Guild. That was for D&D. So I've got, I think, all the issues that were produced up to issue number 11. Then I've got all my AD&D modules that I've got. So there's, as you can see from the depth, I'll try and swip that over. As you can see, there's quite a few that I've kept. Unfortunately, there's a few holes from people who borrowed them. If any of the guilty parties are listening or watching, I'd very much like my dungeons returned, please. That would be very nice. Unfortunately, I've never known somebody with a guilty conscience to ever return anything. But yeah, so quite a few of those that I've still got. They're in good condition, so they've survived nicely. What else have we got here? Yeah. Then the old AD&D, the character sheets. That Dungeon Master's design kit was, in my opinion, a waste of money. It was dreadful. Didn't help at all. Some old Forgotten Realms stuff. Book of Lairs. Yeah, quite a bit. Then Roll-Aids. Roll-Aids did a lot of books that I found quite good at the time. Dragons, elves, dwarves. Can't remember what other ones they did, but there were quite a lot of those that were really good. Then I've got the red and the blue book. Did have the others. I've no idea what happened to them. I think people have borrowed them and they've gone walkies. Then I've got some of these older publications. They're all nice. Then there was these All the World's Monsters, Volume 3. I think that must be Volume 1. Yeah, and I'm missing Volume 2. I have a feeling that I think that poor thing went in one of the floods. Then I've got these supplements 1, 2, 3 and 4, which are all in good condition, but you know, it would be nice if I had the first 3 books. But at least I've got the supplements, so that's something. And then I've got these those booklets. So they're the other ones that I've added on. So there we go. That's the collection that I have. Right, how was that? Massive, wasn't it? I probably bored you to death with what was there, but as I said, there was a lot of stuff there that I've sadly lost over time. And you know, Queensland, our weather is wet. Mildew is part of the part and parcel of what we have. But yeah, but look, thank you. I don't know how long this video has gone for. This is the second take that I've done. The other one went for nearly 40 minutes, and I thought, oh, I'm going to have to redo this. This is just far too long. So look, thank you very much for watching, and so till next time, signing off, the Honourable John.